friends to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart. We're so short, don't get your money's worth.
To help them adjust to this new world order onto the street. They've worked with them throughout the process here to help them adjust to this new world order. They've worked with them throughout the process here to help them adjust to this new world order that they...
Some of the agenda, while he lets everybody on the ground do the work that they are well equipped to do, you know, it's an obvious man-made, I mean, not man-made, natural, incredible disaster that...
Who want to steal our property with financial instruments of greed that only they understand. Who want to sacrifice the welfare of the puppet elected to make them richer media's airwaves.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor? That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose.
If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey, and with a straight face, you're gonna tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom?
Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain,
Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl,
just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day,
there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy.
We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
What the hell is going on? Let's get real for a minute. The world is a fucked up place. All of a sudden, it just went off the deep end. And we're all, I guess, stars in our own show. I mean, if I was still a drinker, I would pour myself a tall glass of Jameson and Verner's, and I'd get a little drunk, and I'd sit back and I would say,
The Earth is a giant plasma TV. And we're just a big reality show for the intergalactic society.
evil has risen. The media is slipping up and making mistakes and saying things live on TV that most people aren't catching. I think the depopulation agenda has begun. Not that it wasn't implemented a while back, but I think it's now in full force. There are some videos that I've been analyzing all day, and I'm dumbfounded. So I'm going to bring them to your attention in case you haven't seen them or come across them, and I'll let you decide. Because right about now, I wish I was still a drinker. Really? Because then it would make all this shit would make sense. I'm drunk. I don't know what I saw. The fuck is that shit? I got some shit to show you. Hey, let's take a look at some shit and analyze some shit and see whether or not it's shit. First up, what do we have here? All right. Hurricane Harvey helping them adjust to the New World Order. Is it shit? No, they said it right live on national television. So, I know some of you have already seen this, but some haven't. A lot of people don't know how to use things, or some people just don't know what they're doing. So let's just do it for them. Okay? Let's have our drunk, sober coffee.
It's because some of these people, this is a new normal. They're never going to go back home.
This is a new normal. They will never go back home. Live on TV.
So they want to help them as much so that they're never just walking out of here and feeling like they're going back onto the street.
They want to help them out as much as possible so they don't feel like they're going back out onto the streets. Great. That's one of the things I had mentioned in my last FEMA video, where people just automatically assuming FEMA's behind some big conspiracy. But Finish listening to what she says live on national television.
They work with them throughout the process here to help them adjust.
They work with them here to help them adjust
This new world order
to this new world order. Let's listen to that again, just so you know.
to help them adjust to this new world order onto the street. They work with them throughout the process here to help them adjust to this new world order. They work with them throughout the process here to help them adjust to this new world order that they are.
Huh. I don't know about the TV and the lying-ass media anymore. When they stop hiding shit, stop lying about shit, you gotta kind of, I don't know. Fox News reporter slips up and says the Hurricane Harvey was a man-made disaster. But you gotta understand, some people take these things out of context. You know what I'm saying? All I can say is listen for yourself.
Some of the agenda, while he lets everybody on the ground do the work that they are well equipped to do, it's an obvious man-made, not man-made, natural, incredible disaster that Texas is well equipped to do. It's an obvious man-made.
She's looking for the answer. She's got a hiccup, a little glitch in her matrix. She's obviously a man-made. Oh, I don't mean man-made. You see, you can't take that out of context. If she was just going, well, it's obviously a mother. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in context. When you take things out of context, it's when somebody's going blah, 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 and they say something in there. That's taking something that they're saying out of context. Learn your English. That's not taking something out of context. She had a glitch in her matrix. She's trying to trying to remember what she's supposed to say. She can't remember. Listen to it one more time.
Everybody on the ground do the work that they are well equipped to do. It's an obvious man-made, not man to do. It's an obvious man-made, it's an obvious man-made, not man-made. It's an obvious man-made, not man-made, natural.
See how that works? That can't be taken out of context. She knows what the truth is. She's just not supposed to be saying it. Something really weird that I found. Jim Carrey jokingly ousted the Illuminati. Let's just take a look at it.
Like that make you happy and die. The symbol of the all-mocking tongue. To be the whistleblower, I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Yeah, mocking us.
The symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh, and stuff like that, make you happy and die.
And some dumb people will say, oh, he's just mocking it because it's a joke amongst conspiracy theorists. And so they're mocking it to try to downplay it. But then we come down here and Jim Carrey talks about being a different man, changed. He's not Jim Carrey anymore. And he's doing this. Pay close attention.
And feel our losses. And then we make one of two decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others, or we go through the gate of forgiveness, which leads to grace. And your being here is an indication that you've made that decision already. You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did on the cross.
If you understand how micro expressions works, he's being very extremely careful of the next words that come out of his mouth for a reason. Okay? For a reason. There's another video where he
I wanted you to have the feeling when you looked in his eyes that he was accepting of who you are. I wanted him to be able to stare at you and heal you from the painting.
He painted a picture of Christ. He's like gotten weirdly, what do you call it? He's gotten weirdly religious after that little Jimmy Kimmel incident. And there's another video. I thought I had it in the list. I guess I don't. Where he talks about how he's not Jim Carrey anymore. He's a different person. And, he's like stepping away from Hollywood, or what we call Hollywood. Here's another actor, Dennis Quaid. I'm not sure if anybody saw this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play a little bit of it, and, you decide for yourself, I guess. I mean, don't take my word for it.
For the past 20 years, my wife, Evie, and I have been the victims of criminal activities perpetrated by a small network of individuals who are out to destroy us personally, professionally, and financially.
Or killed them. They believe David Carradine, who was found hanged in a Bangkok hotel room, and Heath Ledger, who had a drug overdose, were victims of the same murderous conspiracy.
Why don't you guys just start by telling me, how has life been for you? You've been on quite the roller coaster of late. What's going on now?
And now Quaid, who's appeared in more than 90 films, has gone from actor to outlaw.
Our country is being brazenly stolen out from under us, taken over by monsters who want to deprive our vets of medical care.
It's going to be very difficult for Randy's career to recover at this point.
This network of individuals is manipulating the banking system and the criminal justice system for the purposes of sabotaging our credit and our credibility. Up until a year ago, Evie and I had never had any run-in with the law whatsoever.
Randy Quaid joins us now exclusively from Vancouver, Canada, for his first live interview since this all began.
Puppet elected to make them richer. Media's airwave.
Keep going the way they are, and we don't do something about it to expose these people. My wife and I will be out on the street.
Who want to steal our First Amendment by filling the media's airwaves with infomercials pretending to be the news to get their chosen puppet elected to make them richer still.
Business with.
My question is what happens to these people when they talk like that? Seriously. They know something the rest of us don't. There's obviously some evil frickin' force in this world that's doing some crazy shit. And I know there's a lot of people that sit out there and go, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Stop giving it energy. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you can't figure that out, don't feed the beast. You know what I mean? Whistleblowers obviously don't care. There is just so much shit going on right now. And now Trump's building this border wall. I don't know exactly now. I'm not too sure that that's to keep people out. Catch my drift? I mean, let's say, I don't know how I would put that. I mean, when you relate people to sheep, I guess you would have to cage them in to take things away from them so they don't flee. But then you would have to run something across the border between the United States and Canada, wouldn't you? And what if we woke up one day and they decided, well, the wall down in Mexico's working. We're going to put one across Canada. Holy shit. That's a big ass sign there, wouldn't it? But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So that's why things are so confusing, man. But this is a show. This is a show, and we're all a part of it. I mean, there is so much crazy shit going on. And you got to stay aware and alert. Make sure you discern between fact and fiction of these people on social media and YouTube. Okay? This guy here, I think I posted it on G+. This guy's a marksman. And he uses the exact rifles that were said to be used in the Vegas shooting. And explains how he's comparing what's being said to what the actual facts are with the sound of the rifle. I mean, now there's a big thing going around about the flashes. You have to understand how that building is designed. If you're shooting over here, of course it's going to reflect off the windows over there. It's only obvious. But then there's reports that the airport light was reflecting off it because it always does. So again, people are trying to take bullshit and lies to explain the lie. You see where I'm going with this? See what I'm saying with this? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know, I said here the other day, and I'm going to redact it because I think I might have been wrong. I said the other day that the Georgia Guidestones were finding out through research that they are not for what's going on right now in the world, but they were designed to be a lesson and a set of commandments for life after a major event. And I don't believe that anymore. Because I believe there's a depopulation agenda in full effect, hardcore, 100% right now. Let's take a look at a few of these. Okay. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. One language. Rule passion, faith, tradition in all things. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Just a few things. And some people will take it at face value. They'll say, oh, that sounds great. But you don't understand. Unite humanity under one new language. That's part of the New World Order. One language, one government, one currency. Wasn't that the way it was back during the times of Babylon? Didn't the Bible say that God spoke down on the Tower of Babel and divided the tongues evenly? So if God divided the tongues, why would he want them all in one language? See, that don't make any sense. See, you have to understand that everything godly is the opposite satanically. Okay? I know all too well about these things being involved in the occult one way, shape, or form. I was a Wiccan for 20 years. Now, I don't speak ill of anybody. At least I try not to. Sometimes I make mistakes. But I can tell you right now, these people are falsely misguided and falsely misled. As above, so below is their Wiccan read. And I'm telling you, as above, so below is the devil saying, as God would have it, I will have it. That's what that means. They don't understand that because they haven't tapped into the darker side of things at the point. But anyone who has been over that fence row, so to speak, I guess, knows that I mean, all these people got to do is go talk to a true Luciferian, not a Satanist, but a true Luciferian, and they'll tell you. That's exactly what as above, so below means. Okay? The devil wants things the same way. He wants the same things God wants. But he wants it opposite. He don't want to be like God. Or he wouldn't be Satan in the first place. Right? He would be, Jesus' brother, partner, or whatever. But that's not what happened. There's something going on. I don't know what it is. Could be wicked aliens they call Satanists. I don't know. We can only speculate. But I just find it interesting that people tend to just latch a hold of things because they're like, oh, it just fits the narrative. Oh, it just makes so much sense. But half the things that make sense, I dig into them, and there's just so many holes in their story. And people are spreading all this bullshit and this fear. I don't. If I wanted to be afraid, I'd go get married again. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a control thing, I suppose. I think, I would imagine. It's a control thing. If they were doing it for a good reason, I would say it's okay, yeah, because the world's out of control. You have people fighting in the streets and all kinds of crazy shit. But there's better ways to implement things. You know what I'm saying? It's just confusing anymore. It's tiring. It's like every time I come on here, all I see is wannabes and know-it-alls. And if you show any sign of intelligence, they just are all over you because they don't want to think rationally. They're all emotionally connected to these beliefs because that's their perception. And their perception is clouded by predictive programming and falsehoods. I mean, when you see Jim Carrey joking about the Illuminati on one hand, and then the next hand he's over here painting a beautiful portrait of Jesus and talking about coming to the Lord, and yet he ain't any worth of shit movies anymore, and he's not really multi-billionaire anymore. I mean, and then you have Dennis Quaid saying these people are killing people. I mean, do you not get it? I mean, what's it take to get through your thick skull? Okay, so let me put myself in your shoes. Okay, so if that's really what's going on, if there's really a big thing going on in this world right now, well, what are we supposed to do about it? Prepare to stay out of the way. Get out of the way. You're slaving at work for nothing. You're being stuck in a house you have to pay hundreds of dollars a month for and not much left over to do anything for nothing. By the time you get off your ass and walk out of that house that ain't even yours and never will be yours, and you get out and enjoy life the way God intended it, it's going to be too late then. Because they're going to have that all on lockdown. So, I don't know what you should do. I mean, you can't give up. But right now, I think shit just got real. I really do. I think shit just got real. But see, we were saying this last year too, when all the school shootings were going on. Okay? And people were showing live footage of pre-planned protests where people were being filmed to act accordingly and then stop dead in their tracks, and they would take some pictures and they would videotape it, and they would, you know what I'm saying? Staged protest. And then we see proof on, I mean, you can't hide the shit. You can go right on Craigslist and see they're hiring actors for hoax active shooters. They're hiring actors and protesters for protests. And if you happen to smash something, you get more. So we're being used against ourselves. We're being used against ourselves. And that's what people aren't understanding. I think with this whole take a knee shit, if anybody would like to send a message to the rest of the world, there's only one way that you could shut this whole thing down. Shut it all down. Call it out. Call their bluff. Shut the whole thing down. Do you want to rise up peacefully? You want to stand up peacefully? You want to send a message to the whole world? I'm going to tell you what I was told from the up wherever. This is how you do it. Get prepped up with supplies and call for a workers' strike. Have a good day.
Beautiful prayer. This is the end. My only friend, the end of all elaborate plans, the end of everything that stands, the end. No safety, no surprise, the end. I'll never look into your eyes again.
Adam, I have it.
Eve.
Look out! Wow.
Was that what I think it was?